All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing video reacting, giving our thoughts on the recent big news for Walking Dead universe, Fear the Walking Dead. They have now confirmed that we are going to be seeing the return of Madison to Fear. Alright dudes, so pretty awesome news last night for The Walking Dead, and specifically for Fear the Walking Dead, in that, well, Fear the Walking Dead is renewed for an 8th season. I thought they had renewed it before though, so that wasn't really a big surprise to me. At least I figured that even if they were going to be wrapping up Fear the Walking Dead at some point, they'd want to have a season to do it. They probably wouldn't cancel it without kind of letting us know first, or they at least renew it for a bit. So anyway, it's renewed for the Walking Dead season, or Fear the Walking Dead season 8, and the big news is that we are going to be seeing Kim Dickens return as Madison in Fear the Walking Dead. So this is big news. I do have to agree. Gimple and the others had said that they had some big news for Sunday night, and I didn't expect that this would be it. I thought it might have to do with the anthology series or the Daryl Carroll spinoff or something else. And we ended up finding out that we're going to see Madison return for Fear the Walking Dead, which is really great. I'll put the link in the description. You guys can see it. Sorry I didn't get this posted for you guys last night. I did not see it in time. I didn't get to see Talking Dead until after midnight. So it's something that people have been asking for since she left Fear the Walking Dead, which would have been season 4, right? At the midpoint of season 4 at this point. So that's... wow, that's quite a while, like 3 or 4 years by the time she's returned. We did have kind of like a year, it was almost like a year off, right, with the lockdowns and everything. So even though they kind of they sort of kept going anyway, but it's definitely been a few years. And so it sounds like somehow Madison did end up surviving what we saw, the whole no one's gone until they're gone thing. Which is really good, and maybe it's something that they kind of had always anticipated to do. I'm not sure if they gave any more details about it on Fear the Walking Dead or on Talking Dead. And I'm also not sure if it's something that, like, is it, and you guys can leave your comments about this one below. I really want to see what your thoughts are. Do you think that this was always the intention, to have her go away sort of off screen and have her survive the stadium and everything that happened with that, and then see her back later on at some point? Do you think they always intended that? Or do you think that them doing this now could be to try to build up some hype for Fear the Walking Dead, in that the original Walking Dead TV series will be ending, and so you kind of want to get people watching Fear, and if you only have about 1 million people watching per episode or so, that's something they can do that's kind of a big thing for Fear, that people who watch Fear the Walking Dead in the earlier seasons will definitely want to see, and that could get people to tune back into it who have recently, tuned out, or maybe they, for whatever reason, didn't like the Morgan crossover. I mean, there were some people, I remember their comments, that they didn't really like the Morgan crossover thing into Fear for whatever reason. I liked it, but there's some people who didn't. So to have Madison back to work with the others, to have her with Alicia, to have her with, getting to meet Morgan, because she never did get to meet him earlier. So, but the key is, leave a comment. Do you think this was always intended, or do you think that they've decided to do this because they felt like they needed to do something to try to get people re-engaged in Walking Dead, re-engaged in Fear? It's something they can do, and maybe with the ratings kind of dwindling each year, each season, this is something that they decided would be worth it for them to go ahead and do. So in other words, do you think it's something that they had always intended and they had always planned for, and that they kind of knew they were going to do at some point? Or do you think it's actually a change in direction, and that they've gone ahead and done it because they want to try to get more attention and more interest in Fear, especially with the original Walking Dead TV series ending? With season 8 of Fear, that will air after the Walking Dead original television series has aired its last episode. So maybe give people something to go from that to that. That way they don't just shut off on Walking Dead entirely when the original series does wrap up here. So definitely leave a comments below about that. But either way, it's very exciting news, and it does make me kind of more excited for Fear the Walking Dead going forward. There will be the anthology series as well, too. But maybe help a little bit for everybody who's going to be sad, for huge Walking Dead fans, with the original television series wrapping up. It'll give you something else to go watch Fear for, which I feel like, is a smart move to keep people going, to give them something so they don't just say, well, the Walking Dead original is over, so I'm not going to bother to watch Fear either. So definitely leave comments below about whether it was intentional or not. Want to see. Laura Rain said, hey, Trev, Madison Clark is still alive and is returning in Fear. Love Kim Dickens. So a lot of, and I got quite a few comments like that. Laura very happy and other people very happy to hear that Madison is going to return to Fear. I think it's a great move. It's really smart to do. And we'll have to see if by the point she returns, will Strand still be alive, right? Because she had a good relationship with Strand. And, now that the events that are taking place in Fear the Walking Dead with Alicia being against Strand and there being like this war that's going to be starting now, who will be the victor of the war? Will Madison return in time to, will that change things? Would that make them kind of come back together? Will they both survive, or will Strand be killed off and then Madison return, or maybe the other way around? But I kind of think I tend to think because Madison's returning, it probably means Alicia's safe, because why would you kill her off if if Madison, if her mom's going to be coming back? It doesn't make sense. You kind of would want it to be that way. If you had Madison return without her there, it wouldn't really make sense. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. So maybe Strand will be killed off before Madison gets back, or maybe she can return at some point before this war has resolved itself and stop it or something. Julie B, because that probably would change things, right? Julie B said, one thing I don't get about The Walking Dead, it's awesome, but how could zombies this slow take over the world? And I think that, a lot of people maybe will do some topic videos on the fast zombie that we see at the end of Walking Dead World Beyond, whether or not that's intentional as something like that we're going to be seeing going forward. Will the Walking Dead movie feature fast zombies? Could they work this in somehow and have a variant type of zombie or something? Does that make sense? I feel like if they ever want to do it, now is like the best time ever because of what's happening in real life and kind of the way we think about it. But as far as how zombies would take over the world for Julie, like what Jenner said in season 1 to Rick that he whispered to him is that they're all infected. So it isn't even necessarily that the zombies take over the world. It's that each person who dies at any point in time that's infected with the deal, whatever it is, they become a zombie and then they go spread it and bite others and become one of them. So it's like once everybody was infected with whatever that was released likely by the French or wherever, once and spread around to everybody. Once that happened, everybody was doomed to eventually become a zombie after. So it just kind of, once that was the case, that's what it was. So the fact that they're slow and everything, fast zombies are really tricky because with fast zombies, it would be almost impossible to actually survive. Like, how could you can't even leave the house? One of them would be enough to take most people out. So it would be very, very, very difficult. And you have people of all different sizes and weight and heights, right? So if you have crazy fast zombies with certain people, that would be very, very tricky. Like some big fat zombies or something that go crazy. And like they wouldn't be that fast, but they would just be difficult to deal with, right? Like the well zombie or something. Nathan B said, I really miss the simplicity of The Walking Dead season 1 to 5. Well, the thing about it, Nathan, is that they did that for a long time. You got to remember just how many episodes of Walking Dead they've actually done now. In the original, in Fear, and now they've done a couple seasons of World Beyond, 20 episodes of World Beyond. There are so many episodes that they've gone ahead and done that you have to keep it original. You couldn't do the simplistic Walking Dead that they did originally, probably again. You kind of have to do more to it. Like, it might work okay if you try to do something like that, and the first 5 seasons of Walking Dead are absolutely amazing, incredible, the characters and everything. But if you try to do the same thing you've done before again, it's, usually your audience is going to be like, been there, done that, seen that. It's not going to work the same way. Now, if they ever rebooted it, that could be interesting. But yeah, you can't go back, Bob. You can't do the same thing you did originally and have it work again. Kevin Zed said, this doesn't look good for all the Walking Dead spinoffs, and we'll wrap with this one. After the main show ends, there's hardly any Walking Dead reaction videos or reviews for Fear the Walking Dead or World Beyond. Now then, if The Walking Dead was on, now there would be a lot of videos. So fans of the franchise, yeah, it's basically what it is. So, and he doesn't think people will stick around for the movie because by the time they finish it, it'll be later. Well, I do understand what you mean, Kevin, and you're absolutely right that definitely The Walking Dead as a franchise, I think is maybe a bit in trouble, a little bit. Now, again, we don't know what numbers look like as far as AMC goes or anything like that, but with the original Walking Dead TV series ending, I have to think that if, it was doing like a 5 to 10 million rating thing still, they probably would do another season of it right away. The fact that they are wrapping it up with their contracts and everything else that's involved with that, and definitely after the worldwide situation we just went through, I feel like people's interests have changed and their tastes have changed. And so there is a lot less interest now in The Walking Dead as a property than there was before as a franchise and there was before. But then again, I still think that it's something that can work to a degree. They may just have to adjust how they do it somewhat. And if they can get that movie done eventually, that might change things. But certainly the world situation, everything that's happened, has changed people's tastes, it seems like to me. It seems like rather than having Walking Dead be escapism and something they would want to watch because it's scary and everything like that, and they want that, right? The fans are interested in that. It kind of feels like now, from what I'm seeing anyway, from my vantage point, that it's not really as much of escapism because there's some similarities between, what we've gone through in real life the last couple of years and The Walking Dead. Now, there aren't zombies running around outside, so that's not what I'm talking about, but there are some similarities. And so in terms of escapism, it's become a little bit different to something to where people are not, so interested. But the other thing, too, is that each year you do have an additional TV show. Each year you tend to kind of lose off some of your audience each time, right? And it's difficult to get them back. It's almost like you almost have to reboot or something. Like if you look at the U.S. Ratings for Walking Dead, you start from the first season, it builds up to a point, and then it starts to kind of taper off because people have kind of had enough of it. But you have your hardcore fans that still really love it, such as myself and you guys. So that's great. And I hope that AMC can keep it going for at least a couple more years with something like they wrap up the original series. We've got Fear for season 8. That's good. We've got Anthology. That's good. Eventually, maybe the Rick movie. That'd be cool. And I hope that people are sure interested after that, so that at least AMC can do something with it. I kind of tend to think they'll probably always do something with it, but will it be necessarily like at the top of the charts and everything? Probably not. And so that's just the way things go. But you never know. The movie could change that. So, but it doesn't surprise me that you see a lot less. I'm still doing it, Kev, with you. So I'm still trying to produce as usual as we normally do. And so it's just, and have tried to keep busy all this time, all the way through, with making different Walking Dead videos and other topic videos and stuff. So that's what we've been doing. But I hear what you're saying. Definitely there is less interest now than there was before the lockdowns originally started. I have to say that because I can definitely see that. Even the videos I do and stuff, it's like, okay, a few might get 10 or 20,000 views, whatever, but a lot of them like 3,000, 5,000, 2,000. But it's okay. I love doing it, so it's easy for me to continue. Do wish I could find something else that I'm as interested in as Walking Dead, but I haven't really found anything. The only thing that was close was like Game of Thrones. Aside from that, not really in terms of entertainment. That's it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please thumb it up below. Share, favorite. Let me know what you think about Madison returning. I'll see you again soon for another video. As always, this is Trev saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.